we are making teriyaki steak strips this morning. Okay, I looked up the equivalent because the recipe calls for fresh garlic. I looked up the equivalent for minced garlic, and it said for a teaspoon I should use just an 1/8 teaspoon of minced garlic, and that seems like way too little. And I probably have 4 times too much here, but I'm going with a 1/4 teaspoon. The recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of water, for a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. So we're going to go with a 1/2 cup of low sodium. I bought some soy sauce last week for a different recipe, and it was so salty that it made it very difficult to enjoy it. Okay, we have a 1/2 cup of low sodium soy salt. We need 1/4 cup of olive oil. Two tablespoons of molasses. This is another thing that, surprisingly, I found it very difficult to find this in Puerto Rico. Considering that Puerto Rico used to be a sugar capital, it seems weird to me that you can't find molasses in normal stores. Now the recipe calls for ground ginger, but I'm curious about fresh ginger and I've never used it before. So I thought I would give it a try today. It looks like it's not going to be much fun to do with a microplane, but we'll see. And I don't know if you're supposed to peel ginger or not, but I'm going to. It smells so much different than the powdered ginger. Okay. Now, let's see if we can, with the zester microplane, if we can actually manage to get a tablespoon of this. And it's not looking great for that prospect. So far we've got about a 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, normally this box grater would be about the last tool I'd reach for, but it seems to be working much, much better than the microplane did. The microplane turned out to be really slow and really a pain to use. Okay, we have just about a tablespoon, which according to all the conversion charts I found, for a teaspoon of ground ginger, we needed a tablespoon of fresh ginger. So that's fresh and unusual for me. It's organic, mostly because it was all I could find. Then, now that we have that in there, we need 2 teaspoons of ground mustard. There's 1. And there's 2. And if this turns out anything like what I'm shooting for, I'm going to be a pretty thrilled old man. And then we need onion powder. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Then we're going to stir all this together with a fork. And what we have for steak for this is Laden, which I've never heard of this cut, but I got it because it looked like it was marbled about right, and it's cut thin, and it's a relatively small package, so that works out well as well. It's cut like a 1/4 inch thick. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to take it and we're going to cut it into strips about like that. And we're going to take these strips and a storage bag or a freezer bag. And we're going to put those strips in the bag. And we have another piece of meat. This one we're going to cut it in half because of the shape of it. And then we'll make the halves into strips, which will also drop into the bag. Then we're going to take our marinade that we just made, give it another stir, and add that to the bag, trying not to make a mess. We'll close the bag up, toss this all around, and then we're going to take this and put it in the refrigerator for at least 8 hours, and then we'll cook them either on the grill or under the broiler. Well, first, we We have wooden skewers, and we're going to soak these in water for that same period of time. And I've got more, so we can match the number of strips. And doing that will keep these from burning no matter how we cook these. And we'll cook them, whether we cook them under the broiler or under the grill, doesn't matter. We're going to cook them about 3 minutes on each side. And then hopefully we'll have the best tasting teriyaki strips that we've had in a long time. Thanks for watching so far. I'll see you this afternoon. The teriyaki, and I think we're going to know in about 10 more minutes. Unless they're called by a different name down here, the Chinese food restaurants don't sell teriyaki strips. They could be called by a different name because like boneless spare rib are definitely called by a different name. In fact, I have to have my wife order those for me because I can't pronounce the word that they do call it. It's very thin on this top end, kind of accidental. I didn't intend to put the skinny end on top, but... Well, I'm excited. We're down to about a minute. Really anxious to try this. And there we go. Let's give it a taste. Wouldn't be a fair taste test if I didn't eat the whole thing. And there they are, our 10 remaining teriyaki strips. And give me one left in just a minute. These were quite easy to make, particularly since I bought meat that was already sliced to 1/4 of an inch thick. And I would do it that way again, I think. The marinade, as you saw earlier in the video, was really easy to make. Marinating them couldn't have been simpler. You put them in a bag and put it in the refrigerator for 8 hours or overnight. And then you just broil them for a total of about 6 minutes. And they are really, really, really what I hoped for. They are really good. I'm excited. Now I'm going to overeat, I'm sure. But you don't get to witness that part. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you did, comment. Tell me you did. If you didn't like it, comment. Tell me why. Again, if you did like it, consider subscribing to the channel and watch all the long form videos that you have time to watch. That helps me out a whole lot. Thank you very much and good night.